It has been almost 2 years that I've been trying to do this, and I finally did it. I bought a GPU at MSRP. Wow! Didn't think that would even happen until, the next gen of GPUs. I don't know, was MSRP dead? Well, it's not completely dead, at least not for me, I got one. And some other people did too. I actually posted on my community page this deal. So how did I get it? Well, for a long time now, one of the only places still selling GPUs at MSRP is AMD at their actual own website. They do direct sales, but they've had a queue system. And I actually tried the queue system a number of times, and I gave up. I never won the opportunity. You're not winning. By the way, I hate when people say, like, I won a GPU. It's like, you didn't win a GPU. You won the opportunity to buy a GPU for a non-scalped price. Although, let's be real, guys. By this point in a GPU cycle, I'd actually rather be seeing GPUs discounted a little bit below MSRP. But that's a whole other issue. I shouldn't whine too much about actually finally getting one at MSRP when that is at least way better than things have been. But the point is, I'd actually given up on the queue system, but this last Thursday, so Thursday of last week, I ended up seeing that on AMD's website, their queue had ended and they still had MSRP GPUs in stock. Not all of them, but they did have an RX 6700 XT. This was $479. And one reason why I was really interested in picking this up for myself, I wasn't originally planning on getting one, but it's actually as a comparison with the RTX 3060. Because while the price has come down on that, the price that you get on it is fairly close to, well, $479. I have seen some models on the EVGA website for the 3060 coming in at about $429. But many of the other models, especially on non-EVGA direct sales, are still coming in way above $429 and sometimes even above $479, where I got this. So in future content, I'd actually like to look at the 6700 XT against the RTX 3060 in both rasterized performance, where I have no doubt that AMD here is going to have the advantage. This should be a higher tier card. But I'm also interested in looking into its ray tracing performance, because while we know that NVIDIA has the ray tracing advantage with Ampere, I am curious how much a higher end AMD card could compete against a lower tiered NVIDIA card when it comes with ray tracing. I have a feeling it's going to depend a lot on the title. Anyway, in this video, I just thought, let's celebrate and unbox an MSRP GPU. And by the way, if you're looking to maybe try to get one of these deals, then I think it's the AMD website. I believe they restock on Thursday mornings. I think it's around 9:55 a.m. Eastern time. But I could be wrong on that. I'm sure you could Google it. I think that's when they restock, and they have still been doing a queue. Although, like I said, this was available for several hours after the queue ended. I posted it on my community page, and some of you even commented and said that you ended up buying one. By the way, I don't make any money on that link. I don't have an advertisement deal with AMD or anything like that. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing and install it in the PC and see if it works. Now, I really don't do a lot of unboxing videos on this channel, so I don't really have a setup for it, so we're just gonna hope for the best here. And this is literally just sitting on the ottoman for my sofa here and stuck the camera where hopefully you can see things. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look. So this, because I bought it from AMD.com, is the reference design card. So a lot of reference designs sometimes don't have the best cooling when compared with some of the AIB models, which is one of the justifications for AIB models costing over the MSRP. This box does feel smaller than most of my other GPU boxes. All right, so this is definitely targeted in the marketing as a 1440p gaming card. One nice thing here is the 12 gigabytes of memory. So against like a RTX 3070, which only has 8 gigabytes of memory, there are situations where having that extra VRAM could definitely be a good thing. All right, so this is like a little card box. Has padding here. Looks like it has a little informational kit tucked away in the foam there. Is it just some caution thing? What's even the point of that? I don't know what the point of that is, but hey, there it is. Tucked it away in the little slot there. All right, let's take a look at that GPU though. All right. So that is your reference design cooler. You know, I guess I don't blame them for going red since this is Team Red, you know. But, you know, personally, I'd prefer just a black and silver look and leaving off the red because not everybody's build is going to be red themed. We've got the silver kind of metal backplate. Feels like it's metal. Take the little pads off here. So it looks like the reference model is going to have 3 display ports and 1 HDMI 2.1 port, which is good for me because I do use a LG C1 OLED TV as my main monitor. And well, I think that's about all there is to do on this unboxing. Usually there's some plastic peels and stuff. Is there any plastic on here? Is there plastic on this? I'm trying to figure out if there's any peels or anything to do in my unboxing video. It really seems like that's pretty much it on the unboxing. So let's go ahead and open up the PC, get this thing in there, and see if it works. All right, well I currently have an RTX 3080 in here because I was recently testing out the Ghostwire Tokyo, and with the, I was interested in comparing the DLSS against the TSR, the Temporal Super Resolution, from the Unreal Engine, because I think that was one of the, I think the first Unreal Engine game with their new Temporal Super Resolution. Whereas I think it's supposed to be an Unreal Engine 5 thing. Despite that being an Unreal Engine 4 game, they ended up having it. So this RTX 3080 is the Gigabyte Eagle model, so not the highest end cooler or anything on this one. So let's get that out. So there's the Gigabyte Eagle 3080. This is the 12 gigabyte version of the 3080. Now, for a comparison, I could grab the 6700 XT. So it's certainly a smaller cooler than the 3080 12 gigabyte, which, I mean, should make sense. This thing should draw a whole heck of a lot less power. And sometimes people are like, why are you downgrading your GPU? Guys, I'm trying to build a YouTube channel here testing things. I need to buy multiple things for testing, you know? You probably also hear, you know, footsteps of my kids running around upstairs. That's usual. Standard on the channel. Kids playing. I sneak downstairs and make a YouTube video. All right. Looks like it's a 8-pin and a 6-pin connector. Now, I like to screw in the GPU before putting in the power connectors. On one of my other videos where I installed the GPU, somebody commented, you have to do the pins, the power cables first, or else I don't know what their reason was. The cables will like mess up something in the case or hit something. I don't know what their reason, like the cables are fine here, guys. This isn't hurting anything. I don't want to press really hard on the card until it's secured by the GPU bracket. I doubt it matters too much either way if you're careful, but that's my personal preference. By the way, when you're running 2 power cords into a GPU, it's nice to have 2 separate power cords and not just daisy chain them off of a single cord. I don't think this one gets such high on the power draw that it would probably cause any issues. But it's certainly good practice as long as your power supply actually has that. I'm really hoping that the next gen of GPUs is not quite as power hungry as it sounds like they might be with the rumors. I've got a 850 watt here, but by the sound of the rumors, that might not support the highest end on the next gen. We'll see. All right, well, I'm going to fire this thing up, and we're going to hope it works. Let's test it out.
Alright, well now just to see if it's working, I figured I'd fire up the game I'm actually playing right now, which is Elden Ring still. I know some of you have already beat Elden Ring. I don't have, 20 hours a day to play this game, okay? Now this is running at 4K absolute maximum settings, so I'm not expecting this to maintain 60 FPS, because this is silly settings for this GPU. This really is targeted at 1440p. Although I'm sure we could dial in some reasonable settings for 4K. This certainly isn't actually looking too bad here, but overall, it looks like it's holding at, well, there's stutters galore here, but that's Elden Ring's fault. This is the first time this GPU and driver is loading the game, so it's going to be stuttering a bit. That's the issue with Elden Ring right now. But I'm looking up at the temperature, and it looks like we're holding a little bit above 70 at a very heavy 99% load. And everything seems to be working about as I would expect. It's able to play the game maxed out at 4K, but certainly not at 60 FPS. And I think that's pretty much it for this video, guys. But expect some benchmarks on this GPU, and especially I'm interested in comparing it to my high-end RTX 3060 with the Strix cooler and seeing how it does in comparison. Because honestly, guys, I paid more for that 3060 than I paid for this reference design 6700 XT. Alright guys, I hope you all have an excellent day.